Hi, scholars, and welcome back. This is week 3 of Quarantined AP Lang. In this week's introduction video, I want to talk about 3 things. I want to start by talking about the AP exams. I'm sure a lot of you have questions about how that's going to work. Also want to talk about the Q3 essay number 1 that you turned in before spring break and some issues that I found with that. You'll be getting those back this week. And lastly, I'll look at this week at a glance. Some of you may have already heard some of the news about what's going to happen with the upcoming AP exams. Right now, I need to emphasize that we know very few specifics about what's going to happen with those exams. What we do know is that your AP exams will now be online only. If we're back in school, you'll be taking those in a lab. And if you're out of school, then you'll be taking those at home. We also know that the exams have been heavily condensed down to about 45 minutes instead of the typical 3.5 hour AP Lang examination. That's about it though. Full details on what that test is going to look like are going to be released on Friday. So you can guarantee that once I get my email from College Board on Friday, I'll be sending out a big notice about that just to kind of ease your mind so that you know what's going to be on that test and what it's going to look like. First thing this week, you're going to be getting back your scored Q3 essay number 1. That was the essay that you wrote on the detriments or potential detriments of pursuing happiness as a goal. This particular prompt, after I've graded it, proved to be very challenging to a lot of you. And I remember how much we struggled with it in class. And the method that I taught with this turned out to not really work that well. The method of focusing your position kind of went over a lot of people's heads. That combined with the fact that a large number of you tried to write about the exact same position that I took in my sample made for a lot of problems. And this problem primarily manifested itself in a ton of off-prompt essays. So I do have a significant number of these that scored a 0 or a 1. And so when you see that this week, I don't want you to feel bad about it. What I'd like you to do though is to, take that for what it's worth and make sure that next time we're directly responding to the prompt. Hopefully the prompt that I've chosen for you to write on this week will be a little bit more approachable, but please use this as a teachable moment, as I have used it as a teachable moment on what not to do in the future, and take that for what it's worth, please. All right, now for this week at a glance, this is week 3, and you're going to start off this week much like you did last week with another multiple choice exam practice. This is multiple choice exam practice number 2. Then once you get your Q3 number 1 back, you'll need to complete the Q3 number 1 reflections, just like you did this week on the Q2 number 2. After that, I've got a couple of more lessons for you. These are combined Q1 and Q3 lessons. They teach methods that can be applied to both essay prompts. And then lastly, you're going to be writing another Q3 essay this week. Do another formal outline and final essay. This will be Q3 number 2. For the optional work this week, have more work in IXL. Last week, you did the diagnostic. This week, you're going to be doing some targeted skill work based on the results of that diagnostic. And then we're moving on with The Great Gatsby. Continue reading chapters 4 through 6 and do some more discussion board posting. And lastly, this week's movie from the quarantine. The various images you've seen throughout this slideshow are all from 1971's Andromeda Strain, a great sci-fi classic adapted from a Michael Crichton novel by the same name. It is an excellent film about an alien virus that is accidentally brought back to Earth and a group of intrepid scientists trying desperately to contain it. It's a classic. And scholars, that's all I have for you this week. As you continue working from home, please don't hesitate to contact me with any questions you have. Please continue to work hard, to be nice, and to stay at home. And scholars, I'll see you when I see you.